Picture this. You've got a steaming cup of coffee in one hand, you're scrolling through your newsfeed, and all you see are headlines like "The Secret Millionaire Mindset" or "10 Genius Investment Hacks Only the Rich Know." I mean, seriously? It's as if building wealth requires you to be some kind of finance wizard or have insider stock tips whispered into your ear. Think of this book as, your financial Zen guide. Collins breaks down the overwhelming world of money into a roadmap that's more sip and relax than stress and sweat. And by the end of it, you'll feel like you've unlocked a level of financial freedom that lets you choose what you want out of life, instead of working just to make it to the weekend. Collins isn't here to drown you in complicated jargon or, heaven forbid, sketchy investment schemes. Instead, he lays down a game plan that's, simple. So if you're tired of chasing get-rich-quick tips that never quite pan out, or if, the thought of retiring before you're 95 sounds good, then keep reading. We're about to dive into 5 life-changing lessons from the simple path to wealth. Lessons that could take you from money stressed to money blessed without the MBA and without ever sacrificing your sanity. 1. The FU Money Fund. So first up is this concept that Collins calls FU money. And no, it's not about having enough cash to buy a yacht. It's about having enough to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't serve you. Imagine having enough saved up to choose the job you want, choose where you live, and choose who you spend your time with, without being forced by financial pressure. That's the essence of FU money, and, trust me, it's priceless. Why does it matter? Because life throws curveballs, right? And the last thing you want is to be in a position where you're stuck because you can't afford to make a change. Collins explains that this kind of financial cushion is about empowerment. It's about giving yourself choices. Choices that aren't dictated by how much you're earning next month or the month after that. It's freedom in its truest form. And hey, FU money isn't some magic number you have to hit. It's not about millions or even hundreds of thousands, necessarily. It's simply about creating enough breathing room in your life to say no when you need to, and yes when you want to. 2. The stock market. Now, let's talk about this elephant in the room, the stock market. The place where dreams are made and fortunes are lost, or at least, that's what most people think. But J.L. Collins is here to set the record straight. He's saying, hey, you don't have to be Gordon Gekko to win in the stock market. Collins introduces a simple, hands-off way to invest that can work for just about anyone. And, he's not pushing you to buy individual stocks or jump into some complex trading strategy. Instead, he recommends putting your money into a broad, low-cost index fund. This fund essentially mirrors the entire stock market, so when the market grows, so does your money. Think of index fund as the slow and steady tortoise in the investment race. It's not glamorous. It's not going to make headlines. But over time, it gets the job done without any of the stress that comes with picking individual stocks. 3. Debt is like quicksand. Get out ASAP. Alright, so here's the reality check. Collins does not mince words when it comes to debt. He describes debt as the single biggest obstacle between you and financial freedom. Seriously. He talks about it like it's an evil villain lurking in the shadows. Because, that's pretty accurate. High-interest debt credit cards, personal loans, payday loans, these are the worst of the worst. If you're paying 15% or 20% interest on a balance, it's like trying to climb up a down escalator. The faster you try to go, the more it drags you back. It's exhausting and, more importantly, it's financially destructive. Collins has a pretty straightforward approach to debt. First, tackle the high-interest stuff with a vengeance. Then, if you have good debt, like a mortgage or maybe some low-interest student loans, it's okay to take your time. But his main point is clear. Debt will keep you stuck if you don't prioritize getting rid of it. 4. Live below your means. The secret to real wealth. Yes. Living below your means. It sounds almost too obvious, but it's probably one of the hardest things for people to stick with. We live in a world where there's constant pressure to buy the next thing, upgrade to the latest version, or splurge on that Insta-worthy trip. But Collins argues that resisting this pull is one of the most powerful tools for wealth building. Why? Because the less you spend, the more you save. And the more you save, the more freedom you create for yourself. Now, Collins isn't saying you have to live like a monk or cut out all the fun stuff. His idea of frugality isn't deprivation. It's about intentional spending. Spend on the things that bring you genuine happiness and cut back on the stuff that doesn't. Think about it this way. Every dollar you save today is a dollar that can grow and work for you tomorrow. So while it might seem tempting to buy that latest gadget or splurge on fancy dinners, consider the bigger picture. Is it worth delaying your financial freedom for? 5. Keep it simple. You don't need to be a financial whiz. Collins doesn't believe that you need to have an MBA or be some kind of financial whiz to get rich. In fact, he says that too much knowledge can sometimes be a bad thing. Why? Because it leads to overthinking, and overthinking leads to second-guessing, and second-guessing leads to, well, you get the picture. Instead, Collins suggests keeping your approach to wealth simple. Invest in broad index funds, avoid high fees, and don't jump in and out of the market based on short-term trends. That's it. He insists that the best approach is to invest consistently, ignore the noise, and be patient, because, as he puts it, time in the market beats timing the market. Collins' simplicity-first strategy is designed for everyone, whether you're a complete finance newbie or someone who's been investing for years. It's about creating a system that you don't have to babysit or worry about every day. Just set it and forget it. Why this simple path works. The simple path to wealth isn't just a financial plan, it's a philosophy for life. Collins isn't trying to sell you on get-rich-quick schemes or complicated strategies. Instead, he's offering a clear, no-nonsense approach that anyone can follow. His advice is designed to work for the long haul, not just for the next month or the next year. It's about building a foundation of financial security that lasts a lifetime. Think of it this way. Collins' plan is like planting a tree. You don't expect fruit the day after you plant it, but with time and care, it grows, strengthens, and eventually gives you an endless supply of abundance. That's what the simple path to wealth is all about. Creating a life where money isn't a constant source of stress, but a tool for freedom. So, if you're ready to take control of your financial future, start following Collins' principles today. They're simple, sure, but don't let that fool you. Sometimes, the simplest paths lead to the greatest rewards.